everyone. You have no idea how happy I am. And I hope that you are enjoying this as much as I am because this is a good day. See this over here? Where is it? No, over here. This is my yoga ball that my children have been playing soccer with. So much for joining, I don't know, things in your house that are meant for you, meant for you to sit on because I've been using my soft office, aka my bed. Okay, so this has come up a lot lately for myself, for other people, and I wanted to just do a little talk about the emotions that doTERRA has to trigger. Now, thank God for Sandy. She is actually creating a talk that's going to go through the different types of emotions that we feel. So I'm not going to go into that. That's going to come up later in a month or so. But in the meantime, what I want to, unless you're on her team, if you're on her team, you get access to that. But in the meantime, what I want to say about, hey, Nadia, are you not enjoying this crazy weather? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm done. Oh, what is this? No, this one. What is this? It's not a real tattoo. I have a real tattoo. This isn't it. Can you see that? It says, you have wings, learn how to use them and fly. I got this at the Rise Up event. Very excited. Okay, so doTERRA will trigger you. It'll trigger all of you. And we've talked a lot about this. But what do you do about it when you are triggered? What is the process afterwards? And it's going to be different for everyone. But what I'm going to do is a generalized support for you when doTERRA triggers you, because I promise you it's going to happen, you guys. It's going to happen. And you're going to feel rejected. You're going to feel abandoned. You're going to feel people get mad at you. People are sad because of you, all of the things that happen. And so there's 3 things to do when you get triggered in this business as an entrepreneur. So you ready? What to do? Number 1, you definitely want to take a step outside of that situation. So as an example, you're feeling angry by something that happened. You're feeling sad by something that happened. You want to take a step out of that and do a couple of things. One is you want to feel the emotion. You want to allow yourself to feel the emotion and know that emotion is coming up for you. And but don't do anything about it yet. But just feel into it. Don't act, because when we act on an emotion right away, we haven't taken time to assess, right? So we need to observe, right? Assess, right? And then adjust. So those are the 3 things that we want to do. We want to observe, assess, and adjust. Now, what I'm going to be talking about is not those 3 things, but 3 other things that happen as you're observing. Okay, what do you do in the observation stage? So these are the 3 for the observation. Number 1, what you want to do, hi Kathleen, what you want to do is you want to look at your emotion. Okay, what emotion is coming up for you? You want to look at their emotion. If there's one person or more than one person that you're being affected by, okay, and then you want to look at what to do from there. Okay, so those are the 3 things. Until you do those 3 things, don't act on any of it. And don't act on the third thing, because the third thing is assessing what to do. Don't act on the assessment until you do the first 2, which is observe the emotion, right? Assess the emotion. You're observing it. So what's the emotion? So let's just say that somebody triggers you and you're now sad about something, right? You're sad because somebody rejected you. What is that emotion? So the emotion is sadness. Where does it come from? Usually, and I've said this to a lot of you, or Sandy has taught me, where do you feel it in your body, right? So do you feel it in your throat? Do you feel it in your chest? Do you feel it in your gut? Do you feel it in your head? Where do you feel it? And the trail that you go from where you feel it, usually, what does it look like? So if I felt it in my chest, What color, what shape, what size is it? You know, you've heard me say this before. And from there, you just say, well, it's the shape of like a gray and it's circular and it covers my whole chest. And you want to breathe into that and then ask how long has it been there? You want to ask it that question and just take note. How long have you been there? And the first thought that comes into your mind, you don't have to overanalyze this, but the first thought that comes into your mind is usually back in your childhood and somewhere, right? And so then you want to breathe into that child and you want to say, what was going on back then? And you will almost, like every time I've done this with somebody, I've always found the connection. And what you want to do is you want to ask that person what they need to hear. What do you need to hear? You know, from that little girl or little boy, what do you need to hear? And then from there, you will quite often help her move past that emotion. Now, there's more to it than that, but that's just, you know, part of that. Where does that emotion come from today? Usually it's because you're triggered by something from your past. The second thing you want to do is you want to observe the person that has triggered you. And usually it's not because they're angry with you alone. They are angry with you, something that you did. You might have bumped up against their wounds. You might have said something that, you know, triggered them. Somebody else might have triggered them and you just got caught in the middle of it. Whatever the case may be, the question that I'd ask of you is, what are they feeling? Why are they feeling upset, sad, angry? Why are they feeling that they want to leave? Why are they feeling like they don't want to show up? Why are they feeling like you said one thing and did another? Why are they feeling that you miscommunicated? Why did they feel their emotion? And always try to step into that place. People with empathy do this really well, sometimes to a fault, because they're only stepping into that second part where they're thinking about what the other person is feeling, but forgetting to observe what themselves are feeling and why it's coming up. And what I know is that God, universe, whatever you call it, it always aligns with us. It's bringing things up so we can clear it. And I was talking to somebody about this actually today. But diamonds, the pressure of a diamond is what makes a diamond beautiful. A gold, the purity of gold, it's the gold that gets burned, where all of this the dirt and the grime and all of that comes to the surface and it gets spread away. But it has to be burned. The diamond has to have pressure. And when things like this come up, it's meant to come up for you to clear. It's actually a gift. And one thing that Brienne taught me as we're going back to our childhood sometimes is, number one, who do you need to forgive back then? Yes? Who do you need to forgive? And what was the gift in it back then, back in your child? So sorry, I'm going back to number one because I forgot about that. So back to number one, as you're observing it, is what was the gift in it that happened, and what was and who do you have to forgive? And then going back to that other person, you can't know all the answers for them, but you have to assume that there's a reason that they're feeling the way that they're feeling, and allow them to feel it. That's their truth. You can't take that away from them. That's their truth and their truth alone. And then thirdly, then you can move into what to do about it. And your mind will be so much clearer coming into, okay, how do I adjust? How do I change? How do I apologize to them in a way that says, okay, I totally get where you're feeling. You make them feel understood. And then you can say, thank you for bringing this up. Thank you for doing what you did. Thank you for saying what you said. All of the things in order that you were able to rise. So that's all I have to say today. Again, very general, but before anything happens in your business, know that these things are going to be triggered, and there's a beautiful thing you can do about it in all of them. It's observe you, your emotions, feel them, allow yourself to feel them. Where do they come from? Observe them. You know, they're feeling that for a reason, and it's their truth. Help them. The third thing is help them feel understood. And what are you going to do about it differently next time? How do you adjust? All right, guys, that's it for me. And enjoy this lovely day with me, shall we? Bye.